Hi there.
Hello everyone, welcome to another Flying Frog video. Here in front of us is the CJ Simulations Eurofighter Typhoon. Now this became available on the Microsoft Flight Simulator Marketplace a few days ago. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at this bird and see if it's worth the 45 Australian dollars, $30 American, 30 euro or 25 pounds sterling. So first things first, let's hop on down here and have a look. Now it looks fairly good from a distance, and as a lot of you guys know, I am not a huge jet person, but I agonized over whether or not to do a review on this one, and I thought, you know, not too many people are doing stuff for Xbox, so I thought I would just jump in and give it a go. Now so far the modeling looks fine to me. The panels look like they are decals rather than actual panel lines, but the chrome work is very good. Let's actually hop on down and have a look at the front wheel. A little bit of weathering, and the tyres have got a bit of a sheen to them, so not too bad. Probably could have done with a few more, what is it they call it, polygons, so you get a bit of square edging there so it's not perfectly round, but on the whole generally not too bad. We'll just come on over here to the wheels here. Now this particular one we can put external fuel tanks on, so they all sit under here, one straight underneath the center there, but we don't get any ordnance. Now my thoughts on ordnance. I understand the Asobo stand on whether or not things have weapons or not, but these aircraft actually look way better when there's something on the pylons. Whether it's going to be a dummy missile or a dummy smoke generator, I really don't care. Just let us simulate something that sits here, you know. It does look good with the tanks, I've got to admit, and we do get those. And also too, the plane does squat when you load it up with weight, but you don't get to see the ordnance. So you get to see a plane that's squatted down with weight, but only have fuel tanks on and nothing else on the racks themselves. So just looking at this one here, these hydraulic lines, you know, they're squared off. I would have liked to seen that round. That's not natural. You know, again, I think it's what they call the polygon count. Could have been a little bit higher, and it's the same with the wheel. However, the hydraulic lines do go up into the wing, which I'm okay with that. So now let's hop on out and have a closer look at the fuselage. Now with this particular one we do get 26 liveries, which I will be showing you a little bit later, and with the liveries you get a various number of tiger themed aircraft for the tiger meets. I think there's a Spanish one, there's a lot of and 100th or 10th anniversary and number of anniversaries from the British and so on. Now the Eurofighter itself is been made by a consortium of European companies, Germany, England, Italy, to name 3, and they've all had their hand in this one. Now the Eurofighter itself is a multi-role aircraft, so which is multi-role frontline aircraft, which is for fighter or for bombing runs or just reconnaissance or what have you. Now we'll hop on in and get a bit of close look at the resolution of these decals, decals as I like to call them. And from this distance it doesn't look too bad. We come in, there's a little bit of jaggies as we get a little bit closer, but I'm okay with that. It's pretty good, and I don't mind this green tiger scheme. We call it the Ghost Tiger, obviously from the Tiger meet in 2018. So it's very nice. Now it's nice too that we get these engine covers, pitot covers, safety tags, and so on like that, which is nicely done. So now let's just come in a little bit closer. And 2, I'm not getting any frame rates hits with this one. So that looks all fairly good. Very clear at this distance. Quite okay with that. So on the outside, I'm no expert when it comes to the Eurofighter. I've got no idea really what it's really looks like, apart from the fact of pictures that I have seen. And as far as I can tell, this looks like a Eurofighter. Now this is not any relation to the Braddock one. This one is a completely different one and flies completely different. Now while I also think of it, the sound package on this one, they've actually used the default F18 at the moment, with plans on updating it to the proper Typhoon sounds later on. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to hop in the cockpit and we'll have a look in there. Okay, here we are in the cockpit. Now this does look quite good to my eyes. I mean, I'm not very experienced at all of this, guys, so please excuse me, but again, I am not a jet person, so I'm going to try and be as objective about this aircraft as possible as I can. So it looks good, tidy, neat, clear, which is really nice. Now I will be trying to do a cold start with this one, so you just bear with me. When I get the battery turned on, you'll get to see these panels. They're quite good, clear, sharp, but we'll have a look at those. Now, checklist. While I'm here, let's just check on the checklist. There is one there, right? We can click on these. You can go through that. You can get a list of, well, it comes up with a list, and then you can actually click on that, click on the eye, and it highlights it. It doesn't take you to where that item is. Now, if any of the developers get to watch this, I would like, when we click on the eye, that it takes us to where, so the view camera, say, canopy, for instance, right? Click on that, and then, okay, we get an arrow pointing, but I would like it to go, boom, there it is there, okay? So then that way, we know exactly where it is. It helps a lot of, particularly guys who are just learning on where the systems are. So I would like that. Some developers implement it, some don't. And I think that for this type of pricing, we should be getting that type of functionality within the cockpit itself. However, this is the only checklist we've got. And also too, I think that some of the developers, if they're doing these things for Xbox, that we don't get a downloadable manual, and we would have to go on a computer to it, and some of us don't have access to a computer that easily just to download files. Some of us do. So, anyway, I'm not going to go via the checklist because I have started this one up before. So let's just come on down. Now, the battery itself is over here. Where are we? I love it with my eyesight. It's great. Okay, there it is. You guys have probably already seen it going, it's there, you idiot, it's there. Right, on the battery and avionics. So what we'll do is have a quick look. There we go. Now they look pretty good. All right, very good. I like that, but I'll go through this a little bit more. Now we're going to be swapping from side to side, believe it or not, to start this thing. But our fuel is already on, which is here. Okay, now we need to flick this cock switch here. Alright, then we kick on back over here. What I'll do is I'll get the APU running. Now we get a good sound package, and hopefully things don't get too loud. So let's click on that, and also we will swap over to engines, so make sure that we're getting our firing up. So as you can see, it's spooling up, and we also have our information down here as well of what's happening. Okay, so yes, I haven't put the generators on, which there is that one there, generator 1. We'll get that one on. We'll do engine 2 in a second. So as we can hear, that's spooling up, and I'll just wait for this one to start up, then we'll continue on. But so far, just looking at the dash and the panel here, looks clear. As we got the over here, we've got our autopilot section. Alright, now I'm not sure what all of these are, what they do. You tend to click on them, you know, they just don't seem to do anything. Whether that's an Xbox thing and not a, you know, you don't get that in PC, I don't know. Right, now that should be fired up. Yep, that's engine 1 fired up. So we shall get engine 2 going now. Now I do notice once you've started one engine, the APU switches off, and you got to click it again. So let's make sure we'll kick that one on, and we'll kick on the APU again, and we should just watch this one fire on up. Here we go. You can hear it spooling up now. Now when you automatically start these up, all the engine covers and everything just goes away, so you don't even have to worry about clicking anything. As a matter of fact, I don't even recall that I've seen anywhere within the cockpit to make them go away. And if there is one, please, you know, people let me know. But yeah. Radio. Oh, look at those, having a chat. Very good. Get back to work, people. Right. Oh, here we go. Look, there's the switch for the covers. There we go. Covers on, so we can turn them off. What else we got? We can take the chocks off. So we'll take the chocks away as well. So there you go. Found the switches. They're right there on the left hand side. Now that motor should be spun up. Jet engine, sorry. Right, we've spun up. Okay. Now it's telling me the canopy's open. See, the APU turns itself off. So just remember when you go, see, and that's not turned itself off. Oh, that's the generators, so yep, they automatically turn off there. Generators are on. Right. Now then. Now what I'll do is, just so you guys can see, I will do the views, the custom views. Right. So we got this one. So we got down here, so we know what that's for. Throttles and canopy and what have you. So yeah, we got our taxi lights, so on, and other lights over here, radios and stuff just down here. Okay. Don't know why it's saying the APU. Okay, the APU did turn itself back on. Don't know why. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, there. So we can. These are our different views that we get. So let's go back to. Right. And then we can make ourselves higher or lower. And we're going to close the cockpit now. Or the canopy, I should say. Okay, now that closed down and it didn't make any difference to the sound, which I would have expected it to, but we'll just pop on outside and have a listen. So, yeah, I kind of would have expected the with the canopy to come down that it'd get a bit quieter, but it didn't seem to do that. Right. Now, handbrake off. Let's get her moving a bit. Now, what I've done is I've gone and set nose wheel steering into the velocity 1. So all I do is just turn the yoke itself, which does help for these. So any of the, you know, these ones. There you go, car, go away. Love the AI traffic. It's great, isn't it? Now, of course, it's like anything, if you do taxi too fast, it tends to push that front wheel. But anyway, I will show you the liveries, which, as I said before, is 26 liveries, while I'm taxiing up to the end of the runway for a takeoff. Okay, here we are at the end of the runway. What I'd like to show you now is just a couple of things. I'd like to show you just the what it looks or what it sounds like in the rain, because a few people have said, you know, can you put that in? So I will do that. So let's just, and it's just so we can see if the developer has actually put in rain sounds. Here we are with the rain on. Actually, I've made it as a thunderstorm outside. And as you can hear, we do get rain effects on the cockpit, which is really good. So the next one, it will be the night view. Okay, here's the night view. And yeah, look at that. Green hue to it. Now our controls are over here. Just just over here to make things brighter. You can change the heads-up display from nighttime, daytime, which I think it'll just change the colours. There's also a pilot switch just over here where you turn the pilot on. It actually says crew, one of these ones here. You also got your de-icing is over this side as well. So that's pretty well it that I know of for in here. I don't know much else. I haven't found much else, but like I said, I don't even know what all of these stand for, so it just shows how much of a dummy I am. But anyway, what we're going to do now is just get on up, go for a flight, and come back and I will give you my final thoughts. Okay, let us get going. She's got automatic flaps, automatic aileron trimming, gear coming up. There is a bit of a sound with the gear, and as you saw then, the lights were still on and the inside of the cockpit lit up. So yeah, maybe that's a little bit of a bug. Handling very nimble, as you can see there. I will do some outside views just so you guys can get to see those as well. As a matter of fact, we'll jump on it. I just want to just crank her over, pull it back, and we'll just listen to the wind sounds. The wind rushing over those wings, the canards and the delta itself. It's just coming back around and it quiets down. So let's hop on the outside and have a listen as well. Let's just change the view, get in behind, there we go. And it's the afterburners on. Them back a little bit. We get the misting, and you hear the wind. And as you can see, she's fairly a manoeuvrable aircraft. Now I'm going to push her on up, but you don't hear the sonic boom when you go through the sound barrier, which is disappointing. I think that could have been put into it. Other aircraft have done it, so why not this one? And the price, you know, it should already be there, and I shouldn't have to be mentioning it. And as you can tell, we're a long way up, so she can climb very fast. So what I'm going to do, kick it back. Now I'm going to put on the air brake. Now the air brake itself is very effective. There we go, we just dropped it back down through the sound barrier. So we got the mist, but not much else. Right, now I'm going to accelerate again. Just stay on the outside. There you go, through the sound barrier. But again, we didn't get the boom. I would like to hear the boom, thank you. Rightio. So, I'll give you some outside shots, but I'm going to head back now, take this one in for a landing. Yeah, maybe Shell Harbour is a little bit short to take this one in, but Okay, here I'm making my approach into Sydney. I decided that Sydney was at least long enough for me to land on. I think Shell Harbour was just a little bit too short. So let's gear down, brake up. Now it does slow this one down quite a lot, that air brake. So, and also too, you know, you've got to be pretty well dead smack on with your, look at that, it's dropping, and it's weird. The canards take over, everything takes over, and it feels odd. Okay, I'm a little high. Let's see what happens. See the canards keeping me up, keeping me up. Go back a little bit, a little heavy bounce. Yeah, well, I'll take that. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just taxi on over. As you got to see, I'm down. At least Sydney's got a long enough runway. As I said, Shell Harbour was a little bit, just a little bit too short, I feel. So let's taxi on through, and what I'll do is I'll head on over to the home of Brett Plays, Gate 77 here at Sydney Harbour, and I will give you my final thoughts. Here we are at Gate 77, the home of Brett Plays. My final thoughts on the CJ Simulations Eurofighter Typhoon. If you're a jet person, it may be okay for you. At $45, I feel, whilst mostly the modelling is fine, the graphics on it is fine, the decals, I should say, are fine. The cockpit is excellent. The custom display screens I like. The cockpit itself is clean, crisp, easy to read. However, I did have something where I ended up with an anomaly where I got two things that come down from each side, and it crossed both the screens, or half crossed both the screens on the left and the right. Now, I couldn't get that to happen again, and I don't know why. There's something wrong with the flight model. You've got to be dead smack on with your landing. You get below 200 knots and the canards take over, everything takes over and wants to do it for you. It's an odd feeling. I don't know if that's meant to happen, but to me it just doesn't feel right. There is some particular flight behaviours which I do not believe would be in the real world aircraft. Otherwise I think there'd be a few people crashing this particular aircraft. Is it worth the 45 Australian dollars? In my opinion, no. And that's not because I'm not a jet person or a fighter jet person. I do like some of them, but I do think I prefer the slightly older stuff. I prefer an aircraft that, yes, you've got control over. I don't like this computer feel. You're just a passenger. But this aircraft itself we're talking about, as in from CJ Simulations, I feel as though it was released a little early. It's a little underdone and it's overpriced. I feel it's not a $45 aircraft. It should be a $30 Australian aircraft, or about $20 American. It doesn't have the sound package from a Eurofighter. it has a generic F-18. Number one, okay, the only similar things they got in common is they share twin jet engines. That's it. Not even the same jet engines, I'd probably bet. And I think that it should have had, if you're going to do a custom sound, put your custom sound in. I mean, that is coming, but you should have done it in the first place, and particularly when you're asking for this price. I would have liked Asobo to allow CJ Simulations and any developer to put on ordnance. They don't have to fire. Put them on. It makes the aircraft look historically accurate, to put it, and accurate, and for aesthetics as well. I had that point of view with the Hellcat, where they just didn't allow the guns to be modelled, and which detracts from the aircraft. And I know we're trying to protect children from violence, but there's nothing violent about this particular sim. It is a fact of history, and we should be able to put the ordnance on or off as we see fit. It's in the weights we can put the ordnance on, and the aircraft behaves so it squats under its suspension with the extra weight, but you just don't see it. However, you do see the extra fuel tanks, the external fuel tanks, so the ones that go underneath the wings and underneath the centre of the fuselage. Do I regret buying this aircraft? No, because I've done it for you guys. Yes, for me personally, because probably won't fly this one all that often at all. Maybe on some updates to see if things have improved. But no, I don't regret it, because it's what I feel as though I need to do to let you guys decide on whether or not you want to purchase this aircraft or not. Would I fly it again? Again, like I said, with updates, I'll test it out. I don't like the way it feels. I don't like the feeling of being detached. It is a hard one to land. You need to be accurate. Whether I'm landing it wrong, I don't know. Maybe it just takes a lot more learning to learn this aircraft. I feel as though the modelling's done well. The paint job or the decals, they're great. I like them. The square on the hydraulic lines, I don't like. The non-roundness of wheels, I don't like. I feel as though that could have been done a little bit better. I don't get any frame rate hits, say that one really fast, on Xbox Series X, which is good. I probably have missed some systems depth. I've tried to cover what I can in such a short period of time. But look, I can't recommend whether you buy this aircraft or don't buy this aircraft. One thing which I didn't show you, and there is a switch inside, the fuel probe does come up. Okay, there is a switch on the right hand side where this fuel probe will come up. I'm not sure if it gives you any extra fuel or not, but the fuel probe does come up, and I think too there is a tail hook, and there is a switch in there. So, and you need to obviously to switch on your pilot on or off. As you can see, he's in there now. And like I said, the tail hook, I don't know if there's a switch for that. I could have put all the covers back on by flicking the switches there on the left hand side, which I didn't. But look, hopefully guys, I've covered this aircraft enough for you. And if I have, please like, comment, subscribe, dislike, and let me know if you're okay with how I feel about this aircraft. Anyway, but also too, if you want to discuss this aircraft, other aircraft, interests, I have lots of interests, and that, please join me on my Discord. The description will be Sorry, the link will be in the description below. I always trip over at that, even though when I think I know what to say. And also too, I do have a new YouTube tag as well, which is at FlyNGFrog, one word, capital F's. So instead of flying, it's FlyNGFrog, one word with capital F's. So hopefully that will work, but I'll put that in the description below. But on that note, everyone, please let's say goodbye to Gate 77 here at Sydney, and everyone, please stay safe.